Hello, Andrew Douglas here from Dojo University. I just wanted to show you in a quick video how to use your iPad or other tablet device with Dojo University. It is possible to do the same thing on a phone or handheld device as well. But just keep in mind the size of the screen is going to make it kind of a challenging learning environment. And most of our content is created with at least a tablet-sized screen in mind. Now I have two apps here, and you'll want both of these apps in order to make things work the way you need to. The top left is an app called Photon, which you can get from the App Store. It is $5, but it'll be the best $5 you ever spend because it's an outstanding app, and I'll show you the ins and outs of that in just a second. And then the thing on the right is Connect, and that you'll search for Adobe Connect in the App Store to get that. And both of these apps should be available on the Google Play Store and for other tablets as well. I am an Apple geek, so I'm going to be showing this on iPad, but that's exactly what you're going to need. Now, Photon is a web browser. So you'll see down here I've got Safari. You might have different web browsers on your iPad. But in order to make Dojo U work, you're going to want to use the Photon browser, okay, for the experience. Now, I'm going to open this up now. And it's a little bit crazy. There's a whole bunch of different buttons going on here on the screen. But you'll see it's just like a regular web browser. I can go up here in the URL box and type in anything that I want to, and it'll bring up any old website. The cool thing about Photon is you'll see this little lightning bolt up in the top right of the screen. And I can't really show you with my mouse right now because it's iPad sort of finger mode. But that is the button we're going to use when we need to watch the recorded classes, which is one of the things I think a lot of people miss with this app, but it'll make things work seamlessly. Anyway, we're going to skip that for now. Let's just pretend we're an ordinary member. I'm actually going to log out of my admin account. I just want to show you what it might look like for you. So I'm going to go to member login. Kimmy is not a real person. Don't email her. You won't get anything back. Kimmy and okay, and you can see I'm just logging in as usual to Dojo U website. And here we go. We get our splash page. Everything's working normally. All right, and of course, you might be viewing this video later and the site may have changed, but the basic idea is going to be the same. Now, the first thing you might want to do as a Dojo U member is access a live class. Okay, so theoretically, any class should work. So let's go to repertoire expansion. Let's pretend we want to go to that class. Here I am logged in, and I'll click here to access the live class. Now, sometimes it gives you what seems to be an error, but it's really not. So it's going to try to launch the Adobe Connect mobile app here once we try to, and that's that other app I showed you. It may take a little while. We might have to wait, partially because my internet in the office is kind of slow today. Okay, so here it is. It's asking us, you need the app to proceed. We actually already have it, so we're going to click the already have the app. And it's going to switch us right over. It's going to connect to the meeting, and sure enough, here's my test contact in today's class, right? Now, you're going to have to learn how to use the app for yourself, and the video really isn't about that. But here's the overall view, and these little icons here on the side are going to help you navigate your mobile app. So this is just that sharing window. This shows the participants. You can see video streams. You can see the chat windows, stuff like that, and you can see any notes. And here's our overall view again. All right, and that's basically how we're going to do that. So that's the easy part, actually, believe it or not. It's a little bit tricky, but that's how you're going to access the live classes. We're going back, and we're going to head back to where we were. Now, one of the biggest objections people have to Dojo U software is they, quote, can't view the archive classes on the iPad. Now, with the Photon app, you can. It is true with the other browsers that don't support Flash, you're not going to have any luck at all. Let's go to the archive, okay, and let's look at recent archive additions. And let's look at something like How about Eric Olette's class from yesterday, Captain Horn? Okay. Now, if I click here to access the recording, it's going to say I can't do it. Requires Flash Player 13.0 or above. Let's close this tab. Watch what I'm going to do though. See the lightning bolt in the top right-hand side of my screen? I'm going to press that lightning bolt. And it's going to turn us into this kind of interesting Flash-based world. It's actually streaming the content of the website for us, I think. Okay, and now we're going to click to access the recording and watch what happens. Look at that. It loads, and everything works just fine. Okay, so a year or two ago when we tried to use these Flash apps, they weren't as cooperative as we would like as far as everything working. But I've tested quite a few of these classes and everything really works well. It can take a little while to load depending on the length of the class and how much content is in there. Okay, and here's the class playing. Now we can't hear any sound, I'm just recording the screen. But everything works just fine. Okay, and here's our screen. All right, and you could see how we're really going to kind of need an iPad screen here in order to see everything. We can skip around inside of the file here. And there's Eric playing away there. Right, and everything should work just fine, everything that you need. Now, as far as downloading files and stuff like that is concerned, you're really going to need a PC, not because you can't download the files, it's just because they don't really go anywhere. And if you know iPads better than me, maybe you know how to make that work. I don't really know how that works, but you're welcome to play around with that if you want to. But we absolutely, I guess the thesis of this video is we absolutely have the ability to check things out. I'll show you a couple more classes here. Let's skip down to, let's try and find my most recent class. Yeah, how about this one? My pulsing review, right? And it should just open. And we're in that lightning bolt mode of Photon. That's the key. And you might miss that if you're not a computer expert. And so that's why we wanted to show you this. Here we go, that loaded right up. And if you were using your own iPad, you would hear sound. Okay, let's skip ahead. This one's kind of cool because I used the full functionality of Adobe Connect for this, and it still works just fine in this software, right? So anyway, there you go. So the app is called Photon. And it's all about toggling between, right here, right now I would press the little web browser with the Earth. And that toggles back to regular browsing mode. And then when you need Flash, you click the flashy lightning bolt. That's what it's all about. Okay. Earlier you may have seen my little settings window flash up. You can play with these settings if you're an expert as well and figure out which bandwidth and what mode you might want to play with to see if you can make things work better. Okay, that's where you play with the settings. And that's pretty much it. So that is our video about how to access Dojo U using a tablet. I guess I will reiterate one more time that it does appear that these apps are available on other types of tablets as well. So do check that out. All right, thank you very much for tuning in. Andrew Douglas now, signing out.